what's the biggest challenge in actually growing this?
Honestly, you just said it. It's those
Mm.
Saturdays where it's just you and one kid, you know? And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and I'll be honest with you, there was week after week where it may have been that way. But
yeah.
now we've grown to have seen and worked with over hundreds of kids at this point.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's wild.
Welcome back to the Calling Code with Mina Salib, a place where we speak to and learn from people who are driven by excellence and led by faith. We're doing something new today, something pretty special. Introducing something called the Entrepreneur's Corner, where we spotlight visionary founders, diving into their mindset and mission behind the businesses they're building and the impact they seek to have. Today, I'm blessed to be joined by a good friend of mine, Joseph or Joe Atala. Some people know him as Coach Joe, founder of A Train. The goal of this is really to explore impact A Train is having, why Joe decided to start building it, and really get a sense of how, the way I see it, A Train is more than a business and a brand. It's really a movement empowering communities through fitness, discipline, and purpose driven living. I'm really excited to get into this. And whether you're an entrepreneur, an athlete, or someone chasing your next big goal, just expect from this interview that you'll get practical insights on resilience, vision, and staying faithful while pursuing excellence. So, with that, Joe, I want to just say thank you so much for being on today on the Calling Code Entrepreneur first Entrepreneurs Corner. So,
I'm
thanks for being on.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I love what you're doing as well, spreading the word, in different avenues of whatever people are, thriving in these days. And it honestly means a lot. I initially, when you called me, I thought you wanted me to like come to a barbecue, but I'd much rather be doing this though. I'm very, very happy to be here, bro.
No, thank you. Well, honestly, we can barbecue anytime. I'm down to get a I'm down to do a barbecue anytime. But no, I was really I've been following the work A Train's been doing and what you've been building. I just follow just on Instagram and the amazing programs that you guys have started and just seeing like that impact that you're having on your community and the communities you're serving. Can you kind of just give a brief introduction into A Train? What is it?
Yeah. So the business that I'm building is bringing sports and community feel and fellowship to kids that never really get that in their life.
Mm, mm,
Obviously sports is everywhere, but to me it's more than just sports. It's actually like a family. I was lucky enough as a kid to have coaches that looked out for me, even people from my church that when we played sports with them, I could text them or speak to them at any moment.
mm.
And that sense of community, the relationships that I build, my friends, um, those are all people that played a role in me trying to provide this and what I grew up having for kids that don't have that. So right now we're based out in Queens, primarily, and the kids now, even though they didn't know each other before, now they realize that they have one another. They have the coaches.
Mm.
Our coaches are constantly in communication with anybody that reaches out to them, whether it's a parent, whether it's a kid,
Mm.
if they need school supplies. Like it's not even just, it's more than just basketball or whatever sport that they're you know pretty much a part of.
That's awesome. And so, like, I definitely relate with you on that. Like, we grew up playing sports together. You played more sports than I did because I watched you a lot of time play on the court, and I wasn't
Nah,
necessarily doing
you're
that.
nice. You coach too though.
but
Yeah, we might have a spot for
but
you coaching.
exactly. But I'm curious, like, what does the day to day kind of look like? What like do you run programs? Is it a summer camp? Like what is it kind of what's the product exactly? What are you delivering?
So we have two aspects of it that kind of go hand in hand. We have the training aspect of it where it's, skills and drills development, those type of things where, some people may not be ready for sports teams or and then you have the kids that are on sports teams that are ready to push themselves to the next level. And
Mm.
then the other side of that is competitive gaming. So it's pretty much competitive competition where we travel, we play against different organizations all across New York. We played in a borough competition where our girls made it to the championship game and they
Wow.
represented Queens and we went against the Bronx, you know? So
Wow.
yeah, we've come a long
That's
way in
amazing.
a very short amount of time. Um, but our plan is to continue to grow and to reach more people and giving everybody this sense of community and
Mm.
sports and growth, and even teaching these kids that they need to be holding themselves accountable to what they sign up for and
Yeah.
carrying a sense of professionalism. So all that goes
Right.
hand in hand with what we're
Yeah.
trying to present to them.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of these things like are fundamental toward to just kind of growing up and learning how to become like an adult that just does adult things and becomes kind of like a person that is respected and gives respect. And a lot of things I feel like you learn through sports fundamentals. So it's a really cool kind of like outlet to help these kids become the people they want to be. um can you just kind of like take a step back and walk us through like how did this even come about for you? Like I know like just growing up and your lived experience in your community, but how did this how did the idea spark in your head to start this? So can you kind of just take a step back and walk us through um, how did the idea spark inside of you to even start a train?
So there's actually two answers to that.
Mm,
The first thing that happened to me is with the kids that I was currently coaching, as they started to age out and graduate and move on to their next endeavors, they constantly kept in touch with me after. And they would be like,
mm.
hey, can you please train us? Can you take care of us? Can you come to our games? Come watch us, you know?
And
Uh,
sorry, we forgot to add. You're also so you were a coach at a school, right? So you were a physical education teacher
correct.
at a
Yeah.
school, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you're coaching these kids, and then you're starting to feel like, man, they're keeping in touch with you. They want to stay engaged with you
yeah.
inside and outside. Okay.
Yeah, and then as they reached out, certain kids asked for training, and then from the training aspect, we became a group, and then from the group, it became all right. Now the next person wants to get involved. I have a
Mm,
friend that wants to be involved. So continue to grow from there initially, but also even though that was an aspect of it, it was also having my daughter,
mm,
and any parent will tell you there is no motivator than having a kid. Like no motivator like having a kid.
yeah.
Um, Once I had my daughter, I was like, all right, it's time for me to do something else. It's time for me to step up my game and
Mm,
take it to the next level. And that lit the fire under me. And from there, I was able to be blessed enough to find ways to make everything work. And honestly, it wasn't even just me. And
mm,
I give big ups to the man upstairs because
mm,
he kept opening door after door. And even when I doubted myself or doubted our growth, or I was like, all right, over here, things might end. No, there was something else that came to me
mm,
um, to help support that dream and cause because, it's bigger than just me. That's why,
yeah.
honestly, a lot of the videos and things like that on the page, you don't see my face because
Mm,
it's not about me. It's about everybody. It's about the community. It's about the coaches, which I couldn't be blessed more with better coaches. These people, they really they take their job not even like to 100% to like 110, 150, whatever it is. Like they
mm.
go above and beyond. So I'm very thankful, and that was the motivator. The kids and having a community for them. That was the biggest thing.
That's awesome, man. Like, yeah, what I love the most about the this business is so I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs. I've worked with like probably 100 entrepreneur, maybe 200 entrepreneurs at this point, and a lot of them are in tech. A lot of them, are building products that people use. But what I love about this business is like the kids are the main focus, right? They're like a lot of time when an entrepreneur is building kind of a tech company, the metric is the download, the technology is improving, but it's like the cool part is your metric is the growth of the kid, right? Whether it's in like their physical gift or just like their personal development, spiritual, whatever it might be, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's so much more than just sports, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And whether they grow in sports or not, yes, that is the goal, and that's our opportunity to push them to the next level. It's also about like them growing as people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even our kids now, when they come into our facility and they're a part of a team, they have to sign a contract. They have to, you know, a lot of kids these days lose the sense of accountability. They think everything is just, you know, it is what it is. If I show up, I show up. If not, if not. But now we're showing you that you got to hold yourself professional. This is like a job now for you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're coming in here to learn, to grow, and to make that commitment. And you're engaged in that commitment by signing a contract.
That's amazing. I think that I can even think of myself as a kid, right? Like I used to just like my summers were just spent like just hanging out with you, our friends, and just like kind of just goofing around or just playing sports, right? Being at church, playing sports, whatever it might be. But at the same time, I felt like also like having that accountability, right? To know that I'm committed to something. I feel like having that at such a young age really probably changes like your mindset, changes your trajectory a lot of time.
Definitely, yeah. Especially for the kids that are actually starting to reach the high school level, you know, and
Oh,
they will have jobs very soon, you know. So
mhm,
those kids now, that sense of accountability translates into the real world, you know, whether it's with schoolwork, whether it's again, hopefully one day a job, a career. Um,
mhm.
it's not just about them just coming in here playing and leaving. It's about them having a commitment and holding themselves accountable for whatever that they're doing.
So I want to dig into the kind of the growth trajectory that I think you're on in terms of. So you started this. When did you start it?
Well, it's funny that you're saying this now, but we officially hit a year last Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
yeah,
Okay. Amazing.
September.
If I had like an emoji for like like woo,
Yeah,
I would put it. Uh, but no, wow. So you're a year in, absolutely amazing, and I feel like you've grown really fast. Um, is that like would you agree?
definitely. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. And so like you started with what? Like you and maybe a partner and like how
it
like
was.
how has it grown?
Yeah, it was just me at one point and a thought, and then it
Yeah.
turned into, you know what? Hey guys, let's have a training session this day, and
Yeah.
kids showed up, and then after that, I went with trusted people that I knew um, were not only good at what they do, but
Yeah.
people that I know cared about the kids. You know,
Yeah.
it's so with them, we grew into a three-man crew pretty much, and then from there, as we got busier, you know, more people came about. So,
Yeah.
and it was all of word of mouth. I don't honestly interview people. I go for people that I trust, and the people that I trust, they bring in people that they trust. You know,
Yeah.
so now
Yeah.
again, it's a community. A lot of people that are with us now, they've known each other for years.
Uh,
Everybody's known each other for years. I like, and I know that they're number one good with working with children, and number two, they also have had the experience to kind of help people develop in whatever sport it is. They've done it for so long. So
right. And so if I trust this person, they're gonna vouch for this person. I can probably trust trust that next person they're vouching
for
for.
the most part, yeah. I mean, it's very rare. Like you know, for the vast majority, it's people that I've known for the longest.
Yeah.
But a few people that come along the way actually truly surprised me, and they were just from a referral from somebody that I know.
Right.
So now, honestly, we have the best team that I could even imagine. Like I'm
That's
telling you,
amazing.
yeah, these people not only incorporate um, development and growth for kids, but also sometimes even faith. You
Yeah,
know, even
yeah,
something as simple as no cursing in the facility.
yeah,
And I don't even enforce it half the time.
yeah,
The coaches
yeah.
do. They're the ones
Wow,
that they stop everything and say, "Hey, no, this is not allowed. Now we got to
that's
run.
amazing.
Now we got to do this." You know,
That's amazing.
and that's why I say like everybody that I've gotten so far, I feel like it's not a coincidence. Like these
Yeah,
people are here to serve a purpose the same way I'm trying to serve a purpose, the same way every kid is there, every parent is there.
yeah.
And us all coming together is the reason why it has grown exceptionally like fast. I couldn't have imagined a year ago where we'd be right now, you know?
Yeah, and that what's so cool is just being kind of bystander on the outside, seeing that you were launching this a year ago, just liking the Instagram page and be like, oh, that's cool, just starting this thing. That's cool. And then like you just never know where it's gonna go. And then you're like, I remember just going on your page, what like I don't know, a couple months ago. I was like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
this is pretty crazy. Like, wow, this is really. And then like, it's not necessarily about like the followers. It's actually about seeing the kids in the pictures
Hmm.
and like seeing the videos and being like, whoa, like, man, this guy's. These people are changing kids' lives. They're changing communities. They are really impacting these kids on a day to day basis, which is something that I feel like if you're just a faithful person in general, it's something that I feel like we all want to do, but I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily have that opportunity. I feel like you're doing that all the time, which is super cool.
Yeah, honestly, it's honestly such a blessing because now these kids are making lifelong relationships that they never knew that they would have. You know, they're meeting
Mm,
people from all over during competitions or even their teammates. Like
mm,
some of these kids now are like best friends. You know, they
yeah,
they meet each other here and now they're at each other's houses and hanging out,
yeah,
and the parents know each other and the parents communicate, and
yeah.
like it really does impact. It's a trickle down effect. It really does impact everybody's life. As crazy um, as it sounds, I'm just
That's
thankful that I could even give people this platform. You know, like
yeah.
and this is also for the kids to showcase themselves. You know, to grow into the next level of sports or
Mm,
well, mainly, yeah, it is through sports. So yeah,
yeah,
for them to
yeah,
kind of project themselves, showcase themselves, because you never know who's going to see the page or see them or say, "Hey, oh, I know that kid from A Train."
sure.
That's this is their outlet. That's what I wanted to do is give them an outlet for kids in the community that aren't seen.
What was the hardest thing about starting this, and actually not starting it? Because I think sometimes the easiest part is starting it,
Yeah,
right? It's like I have this idea. I'll try this thing on a Saturday.
yeah,
You could have did the first meeting, got those kids that were calling you, hey, can you train us?
yeah,
Did the first thing, and then didn't get the turnout you wanted. So you're like, actually, it's not really worth it. I'm gonna go chill on Saturday
yeah,
instead,
yeah. That's
right? Like, what's the biggest challenge in actually growing this?
honestly, you just said it. It's those
Mm.
Saturdays where it's just you and one kid.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah, yeah,
and I'll be honest with you, there was week after week where it may have been that way, but
yeah.
now we've grown to have seen and worked with over hundreds of kids at this point.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it's wild.
What keeps you going when it's just 3 weeks repetitively? It's 3 weeks in, you get one or two kids, and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
What is it that you're like, all right, I guess I'll come the fourth week and the fifth week and the
yeah,
sixth week? Like, what is that? Because I think that's the hardest thing as an entrepreneur.
yeah, yeah. At some point, it was the sense of that I made a commitment to them. That kid showed up
Mm,
for a reason. and I also made a commitment to them. So now I'm going to show up. And as we've shown up together, we're going to grow. Even if it's just you, we're going to grow together
Mhm.
and we're going to learn and we're going to develop and we're going to do what we came here to do. And that's what kept me going with those kids. And then eventually, it was all right now. Oh, my friend wants to join, or this person wants to join.
Mhm.
And as
Mhm.
it grew, yeah, there's been tough weeks, and there's also been great weeks where we have a huge turnout, and we were overwhelmed with 20, 30 kids at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, knowing that the possibility is number one there, and number two, um, knowing that whoever did commit is showing up. That's all the motivation that I needed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I'm being totally honest with you, man, and this is something that I always think about because
Yeah.
initially, obviously, every entrepreneur is starting a business for a reason, is
Yeah.
for income, to make more money. But for
Yeah.
me, even though I started out with that mindset,
Yeah.
my mindset has honestly shifted.
Mhm.
And I can be very honest with you, like I care more about the kids than I do about the
Mhm.
income. And because
Mhm.
I'm doing that, everything else comes like right
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't part of my plan, but this is how God decided to use me
Yeah.
to pretty much, all right, you're going to be an outlet for these kids and you're going to provide these things for them. And we're not even stopping at what we're at now. I'm trying to, at the current moment, I'm trying to find a way to get transportation for these kids and, get our own van or bus or these are things that I think about because I don't want limitations for the kids that don't have what they're, like depending on their
What they need.
situation, what they need exactly.
Mhm.
Even now, like our registration and signups, before we even collect anything for registration and signups, we do fundraisers first for each kid. So you're
Wow.
pretty much promote that you're raising money for yourself to provide it in terms of your registration. It's not a fundraiser for me. It's a
Awesome.
fundraiser for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Right. Right.
and it helps us kind of provide the things that we want to provide for you, whether it's busing, like I said before, or
Yeah.
new apparel or jerseys,
Yeah.
and going to the better tournaments and things like that. So
Yeah.
that once my mindset shifted and it became about them first and the community first and the families first, everything else kind of fell into place.
Yeah. Wow. That's that's freaking awesome. And I think that's like that's it. Like when you're so upset, like there's this concept in entrepreneurship that you spoke about so perfectly, which is when you're so obsessed about the people you're serving. So again, in the tech products, it's like so obsessed with being customer focused and making sure the customer service line works and this and this. It's like people are having good experience, then the rest follows,
Hmm.
right? Like, and that's exactly it. This just is so much cooler because it's like they're not buying, you know, a pair of pants or like an electronic.
Yeah,
These people are essentially changing their lives through this program, which whether they know it or not.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I think that's it. Like when you're so willing to like when you're so obsessed with providing them the best experience and the best outlet and the best of everything that you're trying to deliver, man, they're gonna kind of sing your praises. What is the feedback from the like what's the feedback from the community? What's the feedback from the parents that go through like have kids in the program?
so actually, like I said before, we just hit a year,
Yeah.
and I recently posted something saying like, "Okay, this is our birthday. Happy birthday, A Train."
Yeah.
Um, and without even realizing it, a lot of parents started to comment and say, "Thank you for what you're doing for our community. Thank you for providing this for our kids. Thank you for just for everything that you guys have done for so and so." So like it's great feedback from what I understand. The
It's awesome.
parents, yeah, it's more like a sense of thankfulness.
Yeah.
And honestly, like when you think back to it, I was like, wow, like I didn't realize we're even impacting this person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
We
I
may
didn't even know they liked the program. Yeah.
yeah, but it's just so funny because you have the quiet people, you have the louder people,
Right.
so you get
Right.
a
Right.
different vibe from everybody, but, everybody has a sense of appreciation. Even the people that realize that their kids are really good at sports, and
Ah.
now they're learning other aspects of life through the program and not
Yeah.
sport, you know what I mean? Yes, of
Right.
course, sport, but also at the same time, "Hey, my son is being more accountable now. He's showing up, he's maturing."
Yeah.
And that's the part that we really wanna play a role in. Um, it's the growth in the kid. It's not only just the growth in the sport. It's both, um, you know, relationships,
That's awesome.
everything. Yeah, it's
Yeah, man. Like this is the goal, right? Like this is the goal of like, actually living like a purpose driven life. This is the goal to like really just kind of like help kids provide a better future for themselves and their families. And it's super awesome. I know we're gonna start wrapping up, but you know what? Actually, before I forget, your idea of like, I forgot to mention this when you were talking about that one kid, but the one kid in the gym with you, and you're like, man, I gotta just this one kid showed up, and I gotta dedicate my time.
yeah.
It reminds me of one of my heroes, Kobe Bryant, who always said he played injured. I know, you're a LeBron guy. I get it. It's not a big deal, but but he'll play injured, he'll play whatever, but he has to make sure to put on a performance because he doesn't know if there's this one family, this one kid that came to see him, and like
Mhm.
he's got to be there, he's got to be at his best. And I like that reminded me of that. It's like you
Yeah.
got to just be at your best, no matter if it's one or 1,000 or 100 or
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely, like I couldn't agree more, you know? It's you don't know how that's gonna impact if it's, the one person or the 2 people, and that's actually a great analogy to the exact situation, you know?
yeah.
And in terms of, like, the kids in general too, it's also about, like, kinda, like, leaving a legacy for them, you know?
Mhm. Mm.
We can't all live forever, but if there's something that could kinda stay in the community and, continue to grow, it could be timeless where to the point where it can affect who knows how many people. I told you
Yeah.
we saw hundreds of kids at this point, but the possibility is kind of endless at this point, to grow to whatever people we reach.
Yeah, I like that you didn't even usually it's like, yeah, but we're trying to get to thousands and millions. But I like that like the idea of leaving it open ended and just like letting God's will happen
Yeah,
is like it's so much better than even just setting a number because like you don't even know if you're underrepresenting that potential or overrepresenting. It's just like, man, we'll just see, and we're
yeah.
just gonna keep doing like this awesome work.
No, definitely, man.
So that's dope. So two more questions just to close out. One, oh, actually, I wanted to ask you about this because there is something that I've been reading. Well, I don't read that much. There's something I've been listening about on podcasts and stuff like that. But this idea that kind of like high school sports in general is kind of like changing. It's just like everything's getting more expensive. The training's more expensive. This is more expensive. Like to get to college levels more expensive, pros more expensive, and you're just competing against like a lot of money, corporations, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Has that like have you seen that? Has that really affected kids? Like, is that a thing, or am I just reading it?
No, for sure, man. Honestly, these days, if your kid doesn't have a trainer, they don't have a chance. You need to have somebody that's on top of them constantly. And I've seen people get trained as low as the age of 5 years old. There's
Wow,
5-year-olds that are out there and they know that they need to work today. Isn't that a wild statement? Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's weird, but
It it
that's
is.
wild.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. High school sports in general has become so advanced, in terms of, skill. There's
Mm,
there's so many kids now that are training and working, and they're, playing for several AAU teams, and they have so much experience now, that it's not like your casual high school kids. All right, let's get the best 10 kids in the school and, let's go play the next school. No, like
Right. Right.
nowadays, without training, your kid at the highest level will not have a chance. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
That's wild. And like, how do you? So, because you started talking about like the things you're trying to provide, right? Like the transportation and this and that, and just helping kids fundraise and all that stuff. Like, man, I remember like just growing up, like if you just had a ball and there was a court by you,
yeah,
it's like if you went every day, you'll just get a little better and you'll have a chance of making your high school team.
yeah,
And like, it just feels like all of that is like it's just a stretch now unless you get like real, like you said, this proper training, which is crazy. Like I don't know. It's weird how like we got to that point.
yeah.
It's very strange.
It's definitely a lot different from just backyard hoops anymore. I just kind of see that people now realize that the competition is getting a little bit more steep. So
Yeah.
everybody now is going out and finding the best for their kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
great, more power to you. Yeah, but it is a lot of finances, definitely. Um, but now for them to play at the biggest stage, or for them to go around to um national level competitions or anything like that, it's you're not going to stand a chance unless you're training every day. You have to be working every single day. You have to
Right.
find somebody that's trustworthy to work with your kid and make sure that they stay on top of them.
Right.
And even then, you're just giving yourself a chance to be successful.
Yeah. But no, that's no. Thanks for kind of shedding some light on that. Just as we close out, what's one piece of advice you would give to just any entrepreneur, especially an entrepreneur that kind of wants to make an impact on people?
The main thing is to not be driven by the financial aspect. It's to be driven by the people. You are
Mm.
driven by um, growing and actually enjoy what you're doing. And to me personally, it was about building the A Train name more so than it
Yeah.
was about the finances. Everything else will fall into place. It's just you got to be in it for the right reasons. And I've heard that exact quote a million times, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, you know,
Right. I want to make that money.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
The moment that
Yeah.
you're in it, I promise you, you will see if you're made for this or not.
Mhm.
Because you might have whatever it is, maybe one customer, or yeah, it's you got to be driven for the right reasons. Um,
Yeah.
in terms of growth with any sort of entrepreneurship, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. People always say like it's not really work if you really love it, right? Like and that like what you said kind of reminds me of that. It's like if you're really just driven by the love of whatever it is that you're trying to build, or and like the purpose behind it and the vision you have for it, it's not going to feel like work, and that's why you'll continue to kind of do it. Because once the money stops coming in or doesn't start coming in, you're gonna not care anymore.
Yeah,
So unless there's something else. So I love that.
and
Um,
this honestly became more of my job than my real job. It's 24/7, man, and
so are you still?
yes,
Uh,
I'm still teaching. Yeah,
oh, you're still a phys ed teacher.
yeah, yeah,
Oh wow. Okay, so I forgot that in the intro, but it's okay
yeah,
because this was like I really wanted to
yeah.
deep dive. But that's okay. That's so you're balancing all of this.
Yeah, well, it kinda goes hand in hand because if the kids are in school, they're not with me either way, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I might as well be in school too.
Might as well be in
Yeah,
school too, learn.
yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
and it's cool because like actually that's a great point. Do you think you would have started this if you didn't do physical education first?
I think so, because I
Hmm.
think at the end of the day, my interests were my interests, and
Yeah.
even before I was teaching, I was working with kids elsewhere,
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, but I used to work for the YMCA working with kids, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so this was something that kind of it was never the goal, but it ended up being where I am because it's just where God knew I belonged,
Yeah. Yeah.
providing everything that I can for the kids. and a great experience. It's not even just about development, but also just enjoying their youth and
Yeah.
with sports together.
Yeah.
With these kids that are around them. So um,
Awesome.
I think it's something that, regardless of where I was, I would be doing. Whether I left the state or if I moved where I would still be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm positive about that.
Um, okay, before we wrap, well, one, I was going to ask you, where do you see A Train in the next 5 years? But I don't want to ask you that question because I like the fact that you're kind of leaving it open ended,
Yeah,
and it will grow as it will.
yeah.
But two, we're gonna do a rapid fire round.
Okay,
I'm gonna throw out a couple. I'm gonna give you two options each time, and we'll see your answer.
okay. Run.
Most of them are not subjective; they're objective. So I want you to give the right answer.
Yeah,
All right, Jordan, LeBron.
LeBron.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. It's not.
Wrong answer. um, Mets or Yankees?
Mets.
Mets. Okay.
Queens,
Good
man.
answer.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Same.
Can't
All
be a
right.
Jet
So
fan.
we're differing on the whole like LeBron and okay. Not a
Yeah,
big deal. Not a big deal. Um, T Mac or Vince Carter?
Vince Carter.
Wow. Whoa.
In terms,
Wow.
in terms of what?
Hey,
In terms of what?
we're gonna break down stats right
Yeah, in
now. You
terms of
guys, the
what?
amount of conversations me and Joe have had and
Yeah,
arguments.
yeah. Listen, that dunk contest is something that's always gonna stick with me when I hear his
Yeah,
name.
that's
So,
true. No, that's true. That's true. Okay, Jason Kidd or Chris Paul?
Jason Kidd.
Oh, same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we're like really similar. All right, great. This is great.
So the
This is
real
great.
question is why you don't like LeBron.
No, we are not. We don't. This would be forever. We would take forever.
Yeah. Can I
And
ask you one?
yeah, yeah, go.
Curry or Kobe?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Nah. I gotta go with Mamba,
Definitely.
man.
Gotta
I
be.
gotta go with Mamba. I
I,
got to.
I like it.
But like right after him, Steph
Yeah.
Curry, favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good one. Um, what was the other one time? Yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right. Well, with that, man, really want to say thank you so much for just coming on, being the first one to grace our entrepreneurs corner, and super blessed to have this conversation with you. Super proud of the work you're doing, and very excited for like all these kids to continue to kind of benefit from A Train and the work you and your entire team is doing. So super inspiring, and thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I love what you're doing as well. The calling code is honestly something that I watch all the time, and I love the fact that you're giving people like me a way to kind of spread the word and also, share what we're passionate about. And it's
Yeah, people like you, great entrepreneurs like you. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, how great of me. No, but I appreciate it, man.
yeah,
No, it was super cool because I was so curious about this business and
yeah.
how it got off the ground and what you're doing and because I see the impact, right, and just keep sharing the impact too because it's inspiring. So
Thank you,
never be
brother.
scared to kind of share that impact and you know yeah, thanks and thank you to everyone for joining this week's episode of the Calling Code. And we'll see you next week. Peace.